Hello, Michigan Smash. Welcome to our second installment of Michigan Smash Storytime with Stif and 2Shadez. Today, we decided to perhaps expand a little bit on our last week's topic relating to how to get into your Smash scene at school. This is a topic that's really, really close to my heart because this is how I got into Smash, and without it, my life would be completely different than it is, 4 years ago. So
yeah, completely same thing with me. Like I was not even barely a Melee player at all, or like a Smash player even when I came to college. So it's the freshman year stuff can be really important. It can really be a moment to start your Melee career or Smash career.
So we want to do Dorm Life 101, and we're going to explain what is the best way to really engage people on your floor. There's a lot of new people who are all looking for new things to do in college and pass the time. Got more free time than ever, really.
More free time than you'll have in your entire life, probably.
Probably. And so these are some tips and tricks on how to find some Smashers in your area. So first step is making use of your own dorm room. The best way you can do this is if you leave your door open and have people maybe the game sound playing, and people will walk in, they'll hear Smash, and they'll be like, they'll be interested, and you can invite them to play. A big part of this is having some spare controllers in order for people to be able to just pick up and play.
I mean, preferably you would have 4 controllers laying around so you could have a 4-player game with people, especially because when you have more casual friends coming in, like maybe they just want to play Smash because they played it as like a kid or whatever, they're more likely going to want to play 4-player. So having more controllers can really help. 1v1 can be really daunting, especially against somebody who you know is experienced.
Right.
But also a caveat to the door open policy is it's really important to also be somebody who would walk into an open door. Like, not just have your door open and wait for other people to walk in. Like, also if you see a door open and they're playing Smash, like they're playing Melee in there, like, get on that for sure.
Right. I can't tell you how many times I was just walking around, I pop in, I hear Smash, I pop in, I'm like, you guys play Smash? This other kid down the hall, you play Smash too.
Oh my god, we all play Smash.
Wow, yeah, let's play this one. So, of course, if you want to move up to bigger events, because obviously we already have an established scene here, which is super exciting. We didn't have that back in the day, and you can get a couple CRTs from, if everyone has one, you can get 3 setups down to a lounge, and then have a big fest.
You can even, if you're going to play Project M or Smash 4, I mean, PM you technically shouldn't use an LCD because there is some lag, but it's not as bad as it would be in Melee. In Smash 4, you're totally fine to use flat screens and stuff.
Right. Do you want to explain the CRT dilemma to them?
Oh yeah. I'll explain the CRT. So the old fat TVs, like the ones you used to have back in the 90s, are called CRTs, cathode ray tube, doesn't matter. But what they do is they don't have any input lag when you play Melee on them. So when you hit, say you press A to jab, there won't be any sort of delay, the jab just happens as fast as the light can travel through the cord or whatever.
Right.
But when you have a flat screen, like a more modern TV, they'll have to I think they have to upscale the resolution because Melee is so old school, and that causes an input lag. So when you would hit A to jab, it would take some amount of time, and then the jab would record.
Okay.
So yeah, exactly. So that can be really dangerous when you're it'll make you mislearn timing, especially if you're trying to wave dash, L cancel, stuff like that.
I think the bigger picture here is that if you're trying to play with someone who's got more of a competitive focus, they're going to be wanting to play on those. But if you're looking for casual people to play with, the game's still fun on those flat screens, especially if you're just trying to get new people into the game, because they won't be able to tell the difference until much later in their development.
I would especially recommend PM for stuff like that, because a lot of times people are going to be daunted to play Melee. It's kind of old. They want to play Kirby, and Kirby sucks, that kind of stuff. But if you have them play PM, a lot of times they won't even notice that it's not Brawl, but they're like, "Wow, this game's kind of cool. What's the difference here?" So I think that's a really good thing to do. That's what I would do my freshman year. Because none of my friends would want to play Melee against me.
PM's a great way to get people into it because, especially if you're a Melee player, you'll be maybe not as good at the game, but it's got all this new stuff that nobody's seen before because it wasn't available as kids. Yep. Moving forward, we'll talk about the best way to make use of the Facebook page.
Which is super important. Probably the most important resource in the Smash community.
I think that this part can go overlooked largely. I think it's one of the most important ways to effectively set yourself up for more Smash time. The first step is including the location. If you're trying to travel to somewhere else.
This is how you would make a post on a Facebook page.
Exactly. An effective post contains these qualities. Either location, which would contain both the hall and neighborhood, or how far you're willing to travel to play.
Yeah, say you're in South neighborhood, but I'd be willing to go to Brody or North or whatever too.
Right. And
which would vary with the car.
What game you're trying to play? This is extremely important.
Very important.
Didn't get, because if you show up trying to play Melee and they have a Smash 4 set up, I still recommend trying out new games, but it might not be what you're looking for.
And it might especially anger the person that is coming over to your place. And you know, you want to make good connections with the Smash community. We're all pretty good friends.
And if you might want to explain the details of your setup. Depending, we've already explained the dilemma on TVs, and also for Smash 4, there's a difference between flat screen TVs and monitors too.
Oh, okay.
So you want to detail whether you have a CRT, a flat screen TV, or a monitor,
and also how many. If you're now, say you're just in a dorm room, you're inviting a couple people over to play. One setup will be fine, like up to 4, as you would know.
Yeah.
But if you're going to start having more, you definitely want to have more setups. Like you don't want to have to rotate 5, 6 people onto one setup like it's Evo. Like that wouldn't be good.
And then finally, an effective post has punctuation and capitalization. If you've ever seen anything posted by Luigi Master Tay, it is very hard to understand and takes practice. And if you really want people to, when they see it on their news feed and they read it and see, hey, I'm trying to Smash, they'll get like, okay, maybe I'll go play Smash now. They have to read a wall of text to discern the information. That may not be so simple. A cool tip is that you can introduce spaces by hitting Shift-Enter without actually posting the post. So
yeah, because sometimes you hit enter like it was post the Facebook post.
That way you can give format to your post where it spaces things out. And of course, then we'll just talk about some story time now.
Yeah, this is really just kind of general stuff that would happen your freshman year forming crew, stuff like that.
So, well, first off, a cool way you can get to know your RA and help out your RA. Your RA has a quota for floor events that they have to reach. I think it's every month. And setting up a Smash tournament is usually a great way to do that.
It's really easy on your floor.
It's pretty easy to set up. You just use flat screens, whatever, and you might find someone who's actually interested in getting better at the game if competitive is your focus.
And honestly, if competitive is not your focus, that's fine. And if especially your friends, like say you're a competitive player that's just getting in, and none of your friends want to go to tournaments ever or really go to the club, like that's still fine. They can still play Smash with you and have fun.
Right.
Like, it's no big deal. They can come to the club if they want. Like,
I think that I got into the game like this. Miracle Fruit got me into the game. He always had his door open. I'd always pop in, and especially whatever before like going out that night. I wanted just to do something.
Or before you go to class or whatever.
Exactly.
Lunch
something between class and then going out was like, okay, let me pop in and play Smash and kill time. And he played, and for the first months he was destroying me, but it was fun. Turns out he knew about L canceling. I didn't. He never told us.
Crucial tactic.
Or like wave dashing. I never even noticed that all these like techniques were going on. I think if you don't multi-shine, people won't notice.
Yeah, there are a lot of times people won't notice the tech.
And he's just comboing me down. He explained like DI after like a month, and learned shield grabbing after like a month and a half, and everyone got mad when I learned how to shield grab because I played Marth.
Oh god.
And then how to space aerials.
And inherent in Gamero's story is an important lesson in Melee or in Smash in general, is that at the beginning you're probably gonna, for lack of a better word, you're gonna get your ass kicked, like a lot, and it's okay. Like that's no problem. Like it's a hard game, and don't get discouraged. Like you'll get better. It's no big deal. Like I've been playing for 5 years. I'm still pretty bad. Like it's no big deal.
I think it's healthy, especially at least in the first 2 years of the game. You shouldn't attach your fun to the game or your fun with winning, because whether it's about learning or about trying out different characters or playing maybe a character that's not as good because you enjoy it more. It's all about the fun, at least in the first 2 years, I would say. Then you can shift your focus, but there's a lot of fundamentals that have to be hammered down regardless, and you're not going to get through all that 2 years if you're constantly weighing yourself down about losing.
Yep, especially the character stuff too. Like don't get too bogged down in like you look at a tier list and go, all right, Maiden Fox, like doing it right now. I saw the top, like I'm not dumb, like double S, like we're doing that. It's like you don't have to do that automatically, like kind of a hypocrite with 2 Fox mains sitting here. But if it's the character you have the most fun with, and it's the game you have the most fun with, that's what really matters.
Do you want to talk about your experience with me?
Okay, yeah. So I'll tell a quick experience how I got into Smash. So freshman year I came in, I was really bad, didn't really play very much. I played mostly PM, and I would play a bunch with all the people on my floor. Like we'd have 4 people all playing at once, 6 people in the room, like rotating. If you got bottom 2 places, you were out, like some serious stuff. Okay. And that was a really good way for me to get into Melee, or to get into Smash. Like I was kind of kicking all their butts, but I was still really bad against the competitive people. So it's a good way you can build some confidence too. I'd really recommend PM to anybody who wants to play with people on their floor.
Okay, that's cool. Let's see. I think some interesting tidbits. The room that I learned to play Smash in, which is also the room where we founded MSU Smash, it ended up being a Smash room again, just by chance. The next president, Travis Conti, the year after was in that room. Isn't that strange?
That is really strange.
So and then like the exact same room. And he came invited us over to play once. We're like, oh wow,
it's crazy. Yeah, like
I've been in here in a minute. And it was such a throwback. Some of my best times freshman year were spent with my crew. Forming a crew can tell you is one of the funnest experiences in Smash. When you get your like same 4 people you always play and practice and have fun with, and they're become your close
You
friends.
start driving to tournaments with them. You're going to wherever. Yeah.
We never even competed at that point. We were just trying to get better within ourselves. Putting on a stream and watching that while we were playing, and that consisted of Miracle Fruit, Sloppy Joe, and Wolfman. I don't know if you remember him. And he played Luigi. We mostly played PM.
Was that Mr. Was that Mr.
That was
Beast?
Martin.
No, I totally know Martin. Yeah, okay.
And what was funny about it was that we would be up there, and sometimes we would be up so late, up until like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. We'd lose track of time having fun. There was one time that Miracle Fruit, he was so tired, but he wanted to pee. I was winning a lot.
Yep.
And so he's like, that's it, I can't lose to Camaro, because no one likes losing to Camaro. And so he's like, I'm going to take a power nap, and in 20 minutes I'll come back and I'll mess you up. I was like, and so he like there, and I'm just playing with the other 3 guys, and I'm still winning. And then all of a sudden, we're like, Star's sleeping, and he's like talking in Chinese to himself. Dawi is born in China. And
Always Miracle Fruit.
So he's asleep, sleep talking in Chinese, and then he goes, so that's what chicken tastes like. and we're like, what? And he's like, are you awake, Dad? Like, and then he like wakes up like, what's going on, guys? Did I fall asleep? Like, and so we told him, he's like, we could not ever find out what he was dreaming about.
That's really funny.
So that's what chicken tastes like. I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah, that's about it. That's our tips for dorm life, forming a Smash scene, all that kind of stuff.
So this has been Michigan Smash Story Time with Stif and 2Shadez.
Episode 2.
You can find me on Twitter at GG_2Shadez.
And find me on Twitter at the Stif Tip.
Perfect. And feel free to shoot us any messages if you have any questions on Twitter, and we can be happy to answer them. All right, thanks, guys.
Peace.